Hello and welcome. Welcome to Chalkboard again, where maths is taught the easy way. Today on Chalkboard, we are learning on the topic number bases. And on the number bases, we will learn how to convert from any other base to base 10 and vice versa. We also learn how to solve operations under number bases. And last but not least, we also learn how to solve simple equations involving number bases. But before we start today's lesson, I would like to tell you a little history about numbers. How numbers came about before we start working on number bases. Very long time ago, there were a lot of numbers in the world. Some were popular and some weren't popular. We have the Egyptian numerals, we have the Babylonian numerals, and we also have the Arabic numerals. For the Egyptian numerals, they had about 7 symbols that they used to represent their numbers. They were using symbols like this. They were using symbols like this. They were using symbols like this. They also use symbols like this. They also use symbols like this. They also use symbol like this. And also symbol like this. And all these symbols has names, and also they have the value. The first one was called a stroke or a staff. This one is called a heel. This one is called a quail. And this one is called a flower. This one is a pointing finger, battle, and the astonishing man. The astonishing man. Now this one meant for 1. This one went for 10, 100, 1,000. 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. And for the Babylonian symbols, they use only 2 symbols. The first symbol looks like this, and the other also looks like this. The first symbol was for 1, and this symbol was for 10. And with symbols like this, the symbols were 9, and later they added the 0 to it. Now, the Arabic numerals was so accepted because it has individual symbols representing individual numbers. So the symbol I have here, this very symbol I have here, it means that 5 items. It means 5 items. If I have 5 items, I will not pick any other symbol but this. If I have 2 items, I will not pick any other symbol but this very symbol. Unlike this one, if I have 2 items, I will write this 2 times, representing 2 items. And for this one, if I have 12 items, I'll draw the heel, then I'll do 2 of the lines, making 12. You get it? So this one was widely accepted because it had individual symbols that represent individual items. The Arabic numeral also was in base 10. That is why if we come to 9, we come back to 0. They did not have any symbol to represent 10 as a whole. So if you write 10, they come to pick the first letter and the last letter, making 10. You get it? So the Arabic numeral was in base 10. So now we are working with the Arabic numerals, and that's what we are about to do. So we are about to start with converting from any other base to base 10. Then after that, we'll take about 2 examples on that. We'll talk about base 10 to any other base, also take about 2 examples on that. Those ones are very simple. I don't want to waste much time on that. Then we'll move on to from any base to any base, the operations and the equation on number bases. So join me. We are about to start with converting from any base to base 10. If I mean any base, what I mean is converting from base 3 to base 10, base 4 to base 10, base 5 to base 10, base 6 to base 10, and the like. Now, before we start on this, now if we talk about base 2, the numbers we can see in base 2 are only 0 and 1. 2 wouldn't repeat itself. That is why when we count 1, 2, 3 up to 9, we don't get 10. We don't have a symbol for 10, as I said. If we talk about base 5, the numbers or the symbols representing numbers that you can see in base 5 are 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the numbers you see under base 5. So when we talk about base 8, The numbers you see under base 8 will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 under base 8. So we will take a question and we will go gradually on how to convert them to base 10. It's very, very simple. Then after that, we'll convert from any base to base 10. So let's take note of this. Under base 5, the numbers start from 0 to 4. Under base 8, it starts from 0 to 7. So under base 6, it will start from 0 to 5. Are we good? Now, we are taking these 3 examples. We are converting this to base 10. We are converting this to also in base 10. We are converting this in base 10. So now let's start with this. We are converting 432 base 5 to base 10. Now, what's the first thing to do? Now, we will take every number here, multiply it by the base. So we will take 4, then multiply it by 5. That's the base. Then we will take the 3, also multiply it by 5. Good. Then we also take the 2 and multiply it by 5. Inside the bracket, there are multiplications. But between the brackets, that's the first bracket and the second bracket, the sign that will be there will be addition. So we are adding the first bracket, we are adding the multiplication of the first bracket to the second bracket and that to the third bracket. Now after you've expressed it like this, taking the first term or the first number multiplied by 5, second number multiplied by the base 5, third number multiplied by the base 5. Then we raise powers. We start raising powers from the right hand side, the last bracket and the last base on top of the base. So what we do is we raise power over here, we raise power over here, and we raise power over here. And what do I mean by raise power? We start from 0. So this one will raise the power 0, this one will raise the power 1, and this one will raise the power 2. So if it's continuous, we'll keep raising powers until the end. Are we good? Now let's simplify. So with this one, I'm going to get 4 times 5 raised to the power 2. Now we are aware that if we have a square, it means a times a, right? So if I have 5 square, it means 5 times 5, and that will give you what? 25. Please, some people will be thinking it's going to be 5 times 2. No, it's not 5 times 2. 5 square means 5 times 5, and 5 times 5 gives me what? 25. So it will be 4 times 25. Then I bring my bracket. Then my addition sign will come. I bring my 3 down here. Then I multiply it by 5 raised to the power 1. Any number raised to the power 1 is the number. So 100 raised to the power 1 is 100. 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. So 5 raised to the power 1 will also give us 5. So this one will going to give us 5 for 5 raised to the power 1. Plus, I bring my 2 times 5 raised to the power 0. Now, another one, any number raised to the power 0 is 1. If I have a raised to the power 0, I'm getting 1 for that. If I have b raised to the power 0, it's also 1. If I have 10 raised to the power 0, it's giving me 1. If I have 100 raised to the power 0, it's also giving me 1. Any number at all, 1,100,000, all raised to the power 1, 0 gives us 1. So with this one, I'm going to get 2 raised to the power 1. Are we good? Now we multiply. So 4 times 25 gives us 100. Plus 3 times 5 gives us 15. Plus 2 times 1 gives us 2. So we add them. Now the multiplication is gone. So let's add them. 100 plus 15 is 115. Plus 2, 117. So we are getting 117 base 10. So now our final answer, this is our final answer. It's going to be 432 base 5 converts to 117 base 10. Or you can simply say convert to 117 without bringing the base 10. Because already we know that we are converting to base 10. And base 10 is the only base that we can choose to bring the 10 or not. Only base 10. 2, 3, 4, 2 base 6. So the same way, we take the first number multiplied by 6, second number multiplied by 6, plus third number multiplied by 6, then the last one 2 multiplied by 6. So that's the first step. So we take our first 2 here, multiplied by the base 6, then I close my bracket, then plus, then 3 times 6, 3 times the base 6. Then I bring another plus. Then I have 4 times 6 again. Then I bring another plus. Then the last one is 2 times 6. So that's how I put it in brackets. Very good. Every number multiplied by the base. Then after that, after putting it in bracket, I raise powers. Remember, I raise powers. Starting from this side on the base. So I start from there 0. Then I move here 1. I move here with 2. And here will be 3. You see, with the first one, we had only 1, 2. So this one, because the numbers were 1, 2, 3, 4, we started from 0, 1, 2, and ended at 3. So if it had continued, we will also continue with the raising of powers. Are we good? So now, we are about to simplify. So I bring my bracket, I write my 2 times 6 raised to the power 3 means 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 times 6. So 6 times 6 times 6 will give me what? Now, we open the bracket. This time this will going to give me 432. Then I bring my addition sign. Then this one, this time this also going to give me 108 for 3 times 36 plus 4 6 6 4 24. Then our last one, 2 times 1 gives us 2. After that we add all this. Now if we add 432 plus 108 plus 24 plus 2, we are going to get 5. We are going to get 566. So our final answer is 2342 base 5. Sorry, base 6. Convert to 566. And if you leave your answer like this, it means that it is already in base 10. Now, our last one under this, we are converting 1101 base 2 to base 10. So as we did for the first 2 examples, we will take every term or every number multiplied by 2. So let's do that. So our first one is 1. So 1 times the base 2, bracket close. Now I bring my plus. Then this one, another 1 times the base 2. Then I bring another plus. Are we good? Then I go to 0 times the base 2. Then I go to another 1 plus, that is 1 plus 2 plus another 1 plus 2. Are you good? Then plus another 0 times 2 plus 1 times 2. Now we raise power starting from the base that we use to multiply. Starting from here, 0. Then every bracket we raise the power on it, rising from 0 upwards. So we start from here, 0, move here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have raised powers from 0 to 6 on the 2, on the base 2 that we use to multiply by the numbers. Not on the 1, but on the 2. Alright, so now let's simplify. 2 raised to the power 6 means 2 times itself 6 times. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times. So that one is going to give us 64. So in our first bracket, I'm going to get 1 times 64 in the first bracket because the 2 raised to the power 6 is giving us 64. Then plus 1 times 32 for this one, 2 raised to the power 5. Plus 0 times 2 raised to the power 4 gives us 16. 16 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power 3 gives us 8. Are we good? So we will keep doing that until the end. So 1 times 4 plus 0 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Are we good? So we simplified to the last one. And the last one, we had 1 because we have already said that any number will multiply raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1. And any number raised to the power 1 is the number itself. And that's giving us 109. Already in base 10. If I don't write the base 10, it's still in base 10. I said it's only in base 10 that we can choose to write the 10 or not. So our final answer, this is how we put it. We put it as 110, 1101 base 2 converts to 109 base 10. Or I can choose not to write the base 10. So this is our final answer with the converting from this to base 10. Are we good? Now, we are done with the converting from any base to base 10. So these are just some few examples for you to do. Exercise. That's our first exercise for the day. So we are converting all this from its bases. This is base 9, base 4, base 7, and base 5. We are converting them to base 10. Remember, after doing it, you send it to my WhatsApp number. It is on your screen. I'll mark it and send you a reply back. Now, let's move to converting from base 10 to any other base. Now, we are about to learn how to convert from base 10 to any base. Now, let me give you a clue. Now, we convert from any base to base 10. To base 10 straight away. We also convert from base 10 to any base straight away. But we want to convert from any base to any base. We have to first convert from the first base to base 10. Then from base 10 we go to the other base. So now what we just learned and what we are about to learn will help us know how to convert from any base to any base. Because when we are converting from any base to any base, maybe base 4 to base 6, we have to first convert the base 4 to base 10. And the answer that we will get, we convert that one to what? The base 6. How we go? So let's learn how to convert from base 10 to any base. If you are converting 42 base 10 to base 5. Now, the 42 here means that 4 groups of 10 and 2 extra. So what I mean is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 4 groups of 10, then plus 2 extra, 1, 1. That will give you the 42. So if you are converting this to base 5, we are converting this to base 5. It means that how many 5s can we get from this? So we can see clearly that this first 10, we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you good? Then the second 10, the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third 10, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one, we are also getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm converting this base 10 to base 5. So this 40 is giving us this number of 5 separately. Then I'll bring my additional 2. So 1 and 2. Now our final answer. How many of the 5s? How many of the 5? We can say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 5s. We have 8 5s and 2 extra. Right? And the 8 5s, so remember it is in base 5. So how many 5 can we get in this 8? We can see clearly that if I take this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 5. So this one is also giving us one group of 5 of 5s. So that one is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 5. And it's in base 5. So I'll end there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the remaining 5 groups are 1, 2, 3. So 3. Then 2 extra. Then I add my 2. So if I convert 42 base 10 to base 5, I'm going to get 132 base 5. Let me take here again. You see, I converted this one to in 5s. The 10, 10 in 5s. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. But remember, it is not in base 8. It's in base 5. So I have to group them, the 5s in another 5s again. So I took the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 of them, they are in one group. So that is giving us 1. Then additional 3, 1, 2, 3 groups of 5. Here is it. Then the 2 extra. This one, that comes. So if I convert 42 base 10 to base 5, I'm getting this. But we are not going to use this method to do the conversion from one base to the other. We are going to use a different way. But I did this for clear understanding that when we are converting, we break it down to that particular base in 10s or in 5s or in 6 as far as the base is concerned before we get the final answer. Are we good? So from the example that we did, as I said, we are not using that formula. So we want to take a question and look at how best we will solve this question. Now let's take the same 42 base 10 to base 5. Now what we have to do is we are converting 42 to base 5. So what we do is we write our 5, then we bring a line. Then what are we converting? We are converting 42. So the 42 comes here. Another line. Then the remainder will also come here like that. This is what we have to have. Then we start working. What we do is now 5. Now 5 times what will give you 42 or closer to 42. Because we know that 5 cannot go into 42, right? So we say 5 times what gives you 42 or closer to 42. So we know clearly that 5 times 8 gives us 40. So 5 times 8 gives us 45. So 40 plus 40 gives you 42. That is the remainder. So that remainder will come here as 2. Are you good? Now we are done with the first one. Now we are here. Now 5 again. 5 times what gives you 8 or closer to 8. 5 times anything won't give us 8, but closer to 8. Let's see. 5 times 1 is 5. So 5 times 1 gives us 5, plus what will give you this very 8? That is 3. You write our 3 here. Now, we can see clearly that the number here is smaller than this, the number we are dividing with. So we have our 5, but remember that 5 times 0 gives us 0, but plus 1 also gives us this one over here. So this is our final answer. Now this is how we write our answer. Now listen, we start writing an answer from the last digit we wrote over here upwards, like that. So for this one, for 42 base 10, we are getting 132 base 5. And for this one, our final answer is going to be 42 converts to 132 base 5. Now we use the same 42 because the first one that we did with the strokes of numbers, that one we also had 132. So we wanted to confirm whether we also get 132 when we use this method. And this method is also giving us 132. Are we good? Let's take some more examples. Let's take these 2 examples. Now 77 to base 2 and 103 also to base 2. So let's start with this one. Now, as we said, we write our 2, then we draw our line with our 77 that we are converting to base 2, then our remainder follows. Now this is what we have. Now, we start with 2, then 2 comes down again. 2 times what gives you 77 or closer to 77. Are we good? 2 times what gives you 77 or closer to 77. Now we can see clearly that 2 times 38. 2 times 38 gives us 76. So 2 times 38 gives us 36. Plus what will give you 77? So that is being the remainder 1. Now we come to the next step. 2 times what gives us 38? That is 19. So 2 times 19 gives us 38. But this one, it's 38, so there's no remainder. So remainder 0. Now we continue. 2 times what gives us 19? So with this one, we can see clearly that 2 9 is 18. 2 times 9 gives us 18. So 2 times 9 gives us 18. Plus what will give you 19? That is remainder 1. So we write it here. Are you good? Now 2 times what gives you 9? 2 times 4 is 8. So it's closer to 9. So 8. Sorry. 2 times 4, 8. Remember 1. Then we continue. 2 times what gives us 4. So 2 times 2 gives us 4. Remember 0. Then the last part of it. 2 times 1 gives us 2. Remember 0. Then from here, from here, 2 times 0 gives us 0. Remember 1. So for our answer for this one, we are writing the answer from the down here up here like that. So for this one, for 7 to base 2, we are getting 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 base 2. That's what we are getting for the 77 base 10 to base 2. That's our final answer. So the final answer, you go ahead to write 77 convert to 1001101 base 2. Are we good? Now, so our last example here, we are looking at 103 to base 5. So we have our 5, we have our 103, and we have our remainder. The arrow means remainder, so we have our remainder. So 5 times what gives us 103 or closer to 103? We know clearly that 5 times 20 gives us 100. So 5 times 20 gives us 100. So 100 plus what gives you 103? That's the remainder, 3. That will come here. Now, 5 again times what gives you 20? That's 4. So 4 comes here. There's no remainder, so 0. So 5 again times what will give you 4 or closer to 4? That's 0. Because 5 times 0 gives us 0. Remainder 4. Are we good? So the final answer, because here is 0, we can write another 5 again. So our final answer for 103 to base 5 gives us 403 base 5. So with your final answer like this, you write 103 converts to 403 base 5. Are we good? Now let's take converting from any base to any base, and that will be the last with the conversion. Then after that, we look at the addition, multiplication, subtraction, and some equations and a number basis. Let's go. With changing from any base to any base, there is a small clue that we have to do. We are about to combine converting from base 10 to any base and converting from any base to base 10 to get this very one. So we are converting from any base to any base. So what do? We convert from the first base to base 10. Then from that answer we get from that base 10 over here, we convert that one to the other base. So let's say we are converting from base 4 to base 6. We first convert the base 4 to base 10. Then the answer that we get in base 10 over here, we convert that one to the base 6. And that will give us from base 4 to base 6. Are we good? Let's take some 2 or 3 examples under this one. Converting 101 base 2 to base 3. And as I said, we will first convert this base 2 to base 10. Then the answer we get out in that base 10, we convert it to base 3. So let's go. Remember the first conversion we did, conversion from any base to base 10. So that's what we're about to do here. So we will take our first one, then multiply it by the base 2, then we close the bracket, plus 0 times 2, then we close another bracket for this one. Then plus this one, 1 times 2, we close the bracket. Then we raise powers. So here will be 0, here will be 1, and here will be 2. Are you good? Then we simplify. So we're going to get 1 times 4, 2 squared, 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 gives us 4. Plus 0 times 2, 2 raised to the power 1 is 2. Plus this one gives us 1 times 1. And as I said last time that any number raised to the power 0 gives us 1. Good. So now, what are we getting? 1 times 4 gives us 4 plus 0. 0 because 0 times 2 is 0 plus 1. And we are getting 5 base 10. So 102 to base 10, we are getting 5 base 10. Now this is what we are converting to base 3. So we are going to get 3 here, 5, then our remainder. Now we are converting this to base 3. So now 3 times what gives you 5 or closer to 5. So that is 3, 1, 3. So 3 times 1 gives us 3. Remember what? Remember what will give you 5? That is 2. Let's write that one here. The next one, 3 times what gives you 1 or closer to 1. So that's 0. So 3 times 0 gives us 0 plus 1 gives us what? 1. So now our final answer we are getting 1 to base 5. Now let's see. How do we write our final answer? We are writing our final answer as 101 base 2 converts to 12 base 5. So now we have converted 101 base 2 to base 3 by first converting the 101 base 2 to base 10, getting 5 base 10. Then the 5 base 10, we converted that one to base 3. Then we had what? 1 to base 3. So our final answer for 101 base 2 converting to base 3 is 1 to base 3. So that's how it's done. So we first have to convert to base 10, then from that base 10, we convert to the base that we want. Are we good? So let's take these two tries. So after solving these two tries, then I'll give you some exercises to do. Then we move to the operations. That is the addition, subtraction, and multiplication of number bases. Now let's take the very first one. So we are converting 301 base 4 to base 2. So what do we have to do? We will first convert this one to base 10 before converting that base 10 to base 2. Are we good? So we will take the 3 here. We will take the 3 here, multiplied by the base 4, bracket close, plus the 0 times 4, bracket close, bracket again 1 times 4, bracket close, for the 304. Then after that, we raise powers. So we start from here 0, 1, and 2. Now we simplify. So do 3 times 4 square. 4 square means 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 gives us what? 16. Plus 0 times 4. For 4 raised to the power 1 gives them 4. Plus 1 times 4 raised to the power 0 is 1. So we are getting 16 times 3 is giving us 48. Plus 0 times 4 gives us 0. Plus 1. So 48 plus 0 plus 1 gives us what? 49. I can choose to write the base 10 or not because it's already in base 10. So I can choose to leave it like this or write it. Are we good? Now, we are now about to convert the answer we had in the 301 base 4 to base 10 to base 2. And that will be our final answer. So now, we are converting 49 from base 10 to base 2. And that will be the final answer for converting 301 base 4 to base 2. So now, 2 times what gives us 49 or closer to 49. And the closest to 49 will be 48. So 2 times what gives us 48? That is 24. 24. So 2 times 24 gives us 48. Time plus what gives you 49? That is 1. So that will be our remainder. Are we good? Now, 2 times what gives you 24? That is 12. There is no remainder. So 0. Now 2 times what gives you 12? That is 6. And that was the no remainder. So 0. Are you good? So 2 times what gives you 6? That is 3. That one there's no remainder. So 0. Remainder 0. Now 2 times what gives you 3 or closer to 3? So 2 times 1 gives us 2. Plus what gives you 3? That is 1. That will come in. Now last but not least, 2 times 0 gives us 0. Plus 1 also gives us 1. So our answer for this one we're going to be 1 1, writing from down here 1 1 0 0 0 1 base 2. So now our final answer for 301 base 4 to base 2 is giving us 1 1 0 0 0 1 base 2. So we write our answer as 301 base 4 converts to 1 1 0 0 0 1 base 2. So that's our final answer for the conversion. It's not difficult. Don't think it is difficult. Just go through them. Just go through the steps that I did. And try to copy the question and do it yourself. Keep doing it. Don't lose hope. Keep doing it until you get the answer. So let's look at the next example here. The last example. Then after that, I'll give you some exercises to do. Then we move to the addition, subtraction, and multiplication of number bases. So as we did, I'll deal with only the base 10, then I'll leave the other one for you to try yourself before the exercise. So now, we will take the 3, then multiply it by 5. Then, we continue with 4, multiplied by the base 5, plus 1, multiplied by the base 5, then another 1, multiplied by the base 5. Then we raise powers. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So now, I'm going to get 3 times 125 plus 4 times 25 plus 1 times 5 plus 1 times 1. Are we good? So I'm going to get 475 plus 100 plus 5 plus 1. So this plus this is going to give me 575. Then plus this 580 and plus this 581 in base 10. So what now with this one is what I'll convert to base 3. So you get it like this. So 3 with 581 then R. So you start from here, moving gradually so you get your answer. I want you to try it yourself. Then I'm about to give you about 2 or 3 examples to do. Now do it yourself. I always encourage that you do it yourself. Even if I mark and you get it wrong, it's even better than letting someone do it for you and sending it to me. Please do it yourself. Then after you are done, you send it to me. I'll mark them. Then I'll give you a reply back. Now exercise, that's exercise 2 for today. So you are converting 3-1 base 4 to base 2. You're also converting 401 base 5 to base 7. Then also 600 base 7 to base 2. So just these 3. Do it and send it to me. Please do it yourself, as I always encourage. Do it yourself. Then after you are done, send it to me. I'll mark it and send it back to you. Now I'll urge you again today to subscribe to the channel before we even move to the next one. That's operations on number basis. Thank you very much for watching the video. But our next video is operations on number basis. That's how to add, subtract, and multiply with number basis. You can check that in the notification above. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's get there.